PressCorps, I'm Geoffrey Jennings. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the latest news from the Siva Valley conflict. Here in the 119th World Conquest of the Foxhole War, it's the closing hours of day 288. Prototype medium tanks have been spotted on the battlefield as wardens make small progress in the east and west, and colonials try to keep their gains in the center. All of this in a post-Thanksgiving slog that could neutralize Warden Weekend. A reminder that the PressCorps is focused on the Able Shard. Taking a look at the PressCorps Casualty Office, the latest reports here from the closing of day 288. 13.5 thousand dead across the war per hour at the current fighting that rages across all of the front lines. At least 3 regions where one side is suffering at least 1,000 dead per hour. Total combined casualties here in War 119 as of day 288 stands at 3 million. We've crossed the 3 million marks, folks. Total colonial casualties 1.5 as well as 1.5 million for the wardens. So both sides standing at 1.5 million dead. That's a nearly even split across the two. Deadliest region so far is Pharaonic Coast at a total of almost 400,000 dead. Both sides are reporting long queues in frontmost regions, including a 46 long person queue for one region in the west. Prototype medium tanks have begun to make their appearance as the war starts to leave its early phases and hurtle towards the mid-war. As those medium tanks begin their proper mass deployment, production and deployment, then we will really start to see the armored pushes begin in full force. Looking at the map, in Pharaonic Coast along the western front, wardens have crossed the southeastern bridge into the bottom thirds, and heavy fighting is reported at Macha's Keening. Should Macha's fall, this could connect a blue line stretching from the neighboring region of King's Cage and open a doorway with which to sweep the remaining legionary presence in the region. In the central regions, in the Lynn of Mercy, colonials have stabilized the lines around the now green Ulster Falls after a counterclockwise push around the edges of the region. Currently, the wardens sit in the northwestern portion of Lynn with a forward position at Crimson Gardens. Whether this will be a point to flank from or a point to be flanked is still up in the air. In Marvin Hollow, wardens are currently driving south towards Sanctum, colonial-held Sanctum, in the northwestern quadrant of the region. And in Callahan's Passage, the Legion has made significant gains, capturing Solus Gorge and Loken Berth. The namesake of the Sievish Emperor now stands with only 30% of its territory remaining in the northeast, save for Overlook Hill in the center, which is currently in a pocket after the Latch was captured by the Collies on day 286. If the Colonials can lock Cal's Pass down, they will be right at the doorstep of Blue Territory, Deep Blue Territory, and its respective logistics. On the Eastern Front, in the Claustra, Colonials retain East Narthex after a Warden attack threatened one of the few remaining region zones in the geographic eastern portion of the mainland. Currently, the line sits between East Narthex and Weepholm. Colonials retain the treasury in the center. In Allad's Bight, the Stone Plank Relic Base sits at a no-man's land as both sides are embroiled in heavy fighting. The Legion is attempting to give itself some breathing space as the logistics and port town of Mercy's Whale stands at the end of that blue lunge. In Reavers Pass, Sievish forces retain the initiative as parallel pushes from border bases continue again and again, day after day, to keep the colonies on their toes. So far, the Wardens have managed to reach as far as Scuttletown in the past real-life week, but they have always been ejected. Which push will be the push to stay will be a matter of momentum, preparation, and lots of luck. In the fingers, Colonials are in a game of cat and mouse to dislodge wardens at Headman's Villa and Tethy's base in 2 separate counterattacks after recapturing Fort Barley on day 282. The wardens have consistently bypassed the island bases in the north, opting for landings at the aforementioned hardpoints. Now for the latest from the PressCorps Superweapon Readiness and Deployment Tracker, or SWORD tracker. This report coming from day 285, an exponential growth of storm cannons here in War 119 since our previous SWORD report. Currently 5 Colonial storm cannons and 6 Warden storm cannons. Storm cannon deployments currently reported in Westgate, Origin, Heartlands, and Allods Bight. Meanwhile, for the Wardens, Nevish Line, Basin Sidowatch, Slicken Shelf, and 3 storm cannons in Weathered Expanse, anticipating heavy fighting there along the borders, it seems. Wardens have also built a single intelligence center in Weathered Expanse as well. This is in correspondence with the 3 intel centers they had built in Morgan's Crossing. So a escalation of super weapon class structures that includes the PressCorps designates super weapon class structures. That's a term that we made up. And we've officially made up, but corresponds heavily with what the community says as well. And those structures are storm cannons, intelligence centers, and the rocket super weapon, although that will be quite some time before we see those deployed. Taking a look at the weather, major developments here. The PressCorps is currently fielding reports of snowfall in the northwest and southeast. No word yet on weather alerts or how big of an area they cover. Those weather alerts may be happening soon enough later tonight in real life, but early signs point to 2 separate storm systems. 2 separate storm systems in the northwest and southeast. So stay tuned to the PressCorps either through the radio or through the weather map at presscorpsgaming.com/weather. Thank you to our storm chasers, as always, who manually gather these data points by going to each of these region zones that you see. So if you see a symbol on the map there with weather data, that means a storm chaser was there to capture that data and report it. Finally, the PressCorps is reminding you to blink and keep in mind the 20-20-20 rule. That means every 20 minutes, look away from your monitor at something 20 feet away, preferably something outside, for 20 seconds. Doing this consistently and remembering to blink will help reduce your eye strain and play more Foxhole. That's about all we have for the moment, but as always, stay tuned and stay connected to our socials, either on the Discord, which is a social media, subscribe to us on YouTube, like and subscribe, and also on our Blue Sky at PressCorpsGaming.com. If you look up PressCorps Gaming, you'll find us right away on Blue Sky. For the PressCorps, I'm Geoffrey Jennings. Good night and good fight.
The PressCorps is an all-volunteer creative collective of reporters, broadcasters, artists, and more from the MMO video game Foxhole, developed by Siege Camp. Our mission is to engross our audience in and amplify the stories of this unique war ecosystem. The PressCorps was founded in 2018 by former Planetside 2 Radio Free Auraxis host, CaptainInArms. It is a separate community entity and is not officially representative of Siege Camp. For more information, visit our website at PressCorpsGaming.com. That's PressCorps gaming.com.